teach. But I teach a wide variety of stuff.
And that led to Jazzarobex.
Yes, Jazzarobex is my creation. Go ahead, ask me that question. What do you want to ask me, babe?
What is exactly Jazzarobex?
All right, Jazzarobex. I combine jazz, which is dance, to aerobics, but I don't spell it like that. It's spelled Jazzarobex. And I created this class back in 1987. And what I do is I take 9, 10 songs, something that will fill up a CD for me for an hour class, because don't forget you have your warm-up, which will take about 8 to 10, 12 minutes. And then you have your meat of your program, and then leave about 10 minutes to cool down. So we're going to get a good 40 minutes of dancing. So you have to get that much music put together. And then I have to specifically listen to the songs before I actually want to do something, because they have to stay pretty much very basic. You have to have your verse of your music, your chorus, your pre-chorus, or your chorus, and to lead you back into that. And so picking out the music is very important. And of course, it has to be, when you're doing jazz aerobics, you have to make sure that you're teaching different types of styles, like African and Bollywood and samba, Latin. So I put a little bit of everything in my choreography. And I put the choreography together for each song, of course. Of course, I have a notebook full of choreography that only I think I would know what it means. So...
and you hear a song sometimes and all of a sudden you start thinking of choreography.
Yes, absolutely. I could hear a song in a car, and and that's why it's very important. I always have a paper and pen in my car, because if I think of choreography, I need to write it down, because I'm 64, and sometimes that step will go right out of my head. So I write things down, and I could think of choreography just by listening to a song, what type of choreography it needs.
It strikes you right away.
Yes, absolutely.
She has to answer the call.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it comes pretty easy, and you write it down, and then it's going through the whole motions and creating steps for the whole routine, which is a combination of dance and aerobics.
Right. Well, aerobics means using oxygen. So as long as when you're dancing, cardiovascular is using oxygen. So, as long as when you're dancing, if you're going, wow, this is a good workout, or you're sucking some wind, which sometimes in the beginning people do, but let's put it to you this way: I was first before Zumba.
So did this love of dance trickle down the DNA scale to your daughter?
Yes, it most certainly does. And don't forget, her father's an awesome dancer, because her father and I used to do the hustle back in the 70s, and when the hustle was big in the 80s, we used to go out dancing all the time. So, my daughter does have a father that dances very well as well. So that's always a plus. But yes, she's a bookworm, but yet she loves to dance. And she's also now a yoga instructor on Long Island. And if anybody wants to know where she is, you can hit me up later on Facebook, and I can give you that info. So yes, when my daughter was about 3-4 years old, we enrolled her in Louise's dance studio in Selden, because that's where we lived at the time. And my daughter took tap, and while people knew, we knew all the mothers, and after a while you keep going to the same location with your kid, and you get to know all the moms and the teachers and all that stuff. And they all knew that I taught fitness, and I was physically fit and knew what I was doing as far as dancing. They knew I loved to dance and stuff. So I got invited, while my daughter's doing routines, I got invited by Miss Louise to dance with just mothers of the kids that are dancing. And I thought it would be fun. Never took a dance class in my life, but I'm one of those dancers that, I'm like raw. It's kind of like I don't need to take. I hear the music, and when I hear the music, I could create anything. So I just used going to dancing class as like let me see if I could do this. This is interesting. So I took jazz, and being with the moms, they were only taught very, very easy dance steps, nothing too crazy. So Miss Louise knew I needed more of a challenge, even though I loved dancing with the moms because it was easy choreography. I can help them with the steps, and usually I used to. And then Miss Louise says, "Hey, Anna, you want something a little bit more challenging?" So I said, "Why?" And she says, "I want you to dance with the kid. I want you to dance with my 16, 17, 18-year-olds." And Miss Susan, who was another dance instructor, she also took the dance with us. So it was fun. Yeah, so dancing with the younger kids, I found it very challenging, which I liked. And we danced to Michael Jackson stuff and to Janet Jackson. And I remember dancing to all kinds of the music that I really, really loved. And then that was that as far as, going to some kind of challenging dancing class. And then what I decided to do was in my home, I put together a studio in my garage. And then that's where that part of my life began. Teaching out in the gym a couple of days. Plus I used to clean houses. So aerobics was my secondary little job. And then that's it.
Didn't you end up doing a dance routine with your daughter, Nicole?
Yes, when she was 7 years old. I was in my 30s. We had the same outfits on, and we danced to the Beatles when I'm 64. It was priceless, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So yes, I have that on video. You could see that also on my Facebook page. I also have a Jazzarobex page that you can go to on Facebook. It's Anna Jazzarobex.
What are some of the challenges of creating choreography?
Well, the challenges are I have to make sure that the class that I'm teaching it to are able to do these steps without either falling or, because I like to keep my steps flowing from one count of 32 to the next. So, it has to be very basic. And, but I keep it entertaining. I mean, we do, you always exaggerate the move. You keep it simple, but you can exaggerate it with your arms. So, that's what makes it a little bit more challenging for some people because, you can't move your arms and your legs at the same time. But the way I teach them is I have them work on their footwork first. And then once you feel comfortable, then you could throw the arms in.
Modification.
Yes, and also modification. Not everybody could do a jumping jack, so you have to modify that. Not everybody can go into a full lunge, so you have to modify that. Shuffling side to side. They might not be able to have 2 feet off the ground at the same time, so you have them do a grapevine. So there's different things you have to be able to instruct and tell them what to do, knowing who's in your class.
So do you think everybody has a little dancer in them? Can everybody do it?
Well, the secret to dancing is to know your music you're dancing to. When you get up and then just flail your arms and your legs and you're not going in any kind of a beat and you're all over the place. No, that's not the way to do it. You have to sit first and listen to the music and sway your body to that music that you hear. Once you start swaying the body and you're feeling the beat, it's always about the drum. It's not about the words that they're singing. It's about the beat, the guitar, the instruments. That's what you're listening to. And, some people have a hard time with musicality. Where goes, how many, they don't count their sets of 8 or, it gets challenging. Sometimes, because, me, I'm a perfectionist and I want everybody to do it just perfect. But I know I can't have that. So I have to make sure that I accept their abilities of how they put their dance together. So, but it gets challenging for a while.
At the same time, they need to be able to keep up.
Right. You always have one, we're going right, they're going left, so, but until, I kind of like say, look in the mirror. If you see one of us is going the wrong way, please make a correction. But we have fun. I always make sure we have fun as well. So, hey, my classes do pretty well. I'm pretty proud of myself. So, I just hope to keep doing this for as long as I can.
Why do you think people are drawn to your classes?
Well, like I said, I love teaching. I love dancing. It shows it in my face when I'm teaching. People smile at half the things I do because either I'm singing, I'm mouthing what I hear, or just going into something extra with the dance. So I like entertaining them as well. So it's all good. It's all good because they smile. They got big smiles on their faces when they're teaching. Not when I'm annoyed, though. You could tell when I'm annoyed, they get real quiet. So but it's all, like I said, it's all about if everybody had that taste of going to dance, this is what it would be like.
Later on with AFA, which is the Aerobics Association that you're certified with, you became an examiner.
Yes.
What do you do as an examiner?
Well, you have to be recommended to do this position. And what it does is all the wannabe instructors that go for the exam, they're there all day. They're from like 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock at night. They spend the first half hour, 45 minutes registering to get into doing this all-day workshop. And they're learning, they're doing hands-on with the presenter, whoever is teaching that particular class. So if it's primary group aerobics, then they're learning how to do group fitness. And they have to do a warm-up. They have to go into a bell curve aerobic part. And then after that, they cool down. And then after that, they have to show us strength training in different various parts of the body. And then once they do that, then they have a solo, which they could do whatever they want to do. If they say, well, hi, my name is Anna, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a bicep curl. And then they would take us through body alignment, the whole 9 yards we want to hear. And how actually the body mechanics work. The elbow works. What are you working when you flex and extend the elbow? You're working your bicep. So, we want to see all that. So then what happens is they take this all day. They're playing, they're having fun and listening to music and dancing around and, getting creative and learning what parts of the body are being worked and all the different exercises you can do for each part of that body. You don't have to stick with just one. But they do that. And then towards the end, when the tests are about to begin, when they feel comfortable enough, I'm going to say about 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock, the examiner, which was me, I would come in and get introduced, of course. And sometimes I would go, this is what I would usually do though, I would go earlier so I could work with the presenter. So this way, if she had a big crowd, I could work with these people as well and show them things that they should not do for the tests. Because really people, sometimes some instructors do exercises that are way out there and they shouldn't be doing it for the average person going to a gym to work out.
Such as? What are some big mistakes you've seen?
Oh, I've seen rolling the head back. I've seen forward spinal flexion with no support in front. Doesn't matter if you're standing up or sitting down. If you're leaning forward with no support on your legs, unless you have the tightest core in creation, and I'm going to say a high 80% of the population that come to the gym are just there to get fit. They're not pro athletes. So that's the difference. Pro athletes can pretty much sustain a lot because they work out. They really do heavy duty workout.
But the people who are going to be instructors some of them aren't athletic. They're just wanting to do it. But...
Yeah, they want to do it because, like I said, you can't discriminate. If you could be anybody and have rhythm. If you know what you're doing and you can bring across the fun in it and the plus the safety. We're big on safety. and guidelines. So if you can maintain that kind of stuff and go out there